Hey guys, Croft Coins here, and we've got our first episode of an album fill penny hunt. We've got $50 in pennies today. One box is completely sealed. Haven't looked at it yet. It's from Huntington Bank. Got another box from Chase, and it's been opened here because I think 15 or 16 of the rolls are machine rolled and the rest are customer wrapped. And this episode is going to be a little bit chaotic, but we've got two albums here. We've got the 1941 to 1974, which is the later dates. We're only going to be looking for the wheat cents in this series. So this is the 1941 till about 1958 for us when we're looking for wheat cents. And then we have this other album, which is 1909 up until 1940. And we're going to be looking for some of the rarer, older dates in this book. Both books are completely empty to start out this series for me. I'm going to be doing these in $50 episodes, so 2-box episodes. And we will be doing these at least weekly. Maybe I'm going to try to do 2 episodes a week, depending on how many penny boxes I can get. And this is the second book. So I figured I'd start one of these penny album hunt series. I think it's really fun to go through boxes of pennies, and I've been finding a lot of cool stuff lately. I found that 24S. That won't be able to count towards this series, but I figured I'm going to do a 2-box hunt for you guys, see what we can get, and fill our albums up for the first day of this hunt. So this is day 1, $50 penny hunt. We're going to see what we find. We'll start with the machine rolls in Huntington Bank first. Now, if you're new to penny hunting, before we get started, there are a couple of key dates we are looking for in this series. Some of these I have been going through pennies for years and have never found. Essentially, the rarest coin you can find with a wheat cent is this 1909 SVDB right there. And I'll explain that at some point in this series. If I ever find a 1909, I can kind of go in depth at what other coins there are to find. Within the 1909, the S is indicating that is made in San Francisco, and it has initials VDB on it, and it's a mintage of only 484,000 of them. Comparatively speaking, you can look at the other dates next to the other mintages and how many were made, and you can see the vast disparity of the 1910 P. You can see right there, 146 million compared to 484,000 is quite staggering of a difference just in 1 year. So you can really see the scale and how wide the margins are for finding some of these rare wheat cents. So let's get started. Well guys, it didn't take us long. Roll number 2, and we have our first wheat cent for our albums. Let's take a look on the reverse right here. Decent wheat ears. We've got a 1947 P. Pretty common date right here, and we've got our first one for the album. Let's keep going. Very next roll, guys, and take a look at this. We've got our next wheat cent, and we've got it back staring at me. 1944 D. No 50s wheat cents yet, but we've got some nice common 1940s dates to start filling our book with. Guys, we are in roll number 5, and we've already got our next wheat cent. 3 wheat cents in 5 rolls. And this one's actually not too bad looking. It's a 1953 Denver right here. Pretty common date, but not a bad looking wheat cent at all. We're gonna add this to our album with a lot of joy right here. That's a nice coin. Let's keep going. So we're starting off this series in a fantastic way. I just pull out the next 5 rolls right here, and I noticed this roll right here. And sometimes when you look on the ends of these coin rolls, you can see coins sticking out the end. You got one on each side, and you can see this one. We can actually read the date pretty well. It's a 1952 Denver right there. Now, the fact that it's before 1959 means that it is a wheat cent. So if it's 58 or before and you see it like this, that means it's going to be a wheat cent. So we're going to save this roll for last, and we're going to keep going through these rolls. Roll 7 of this first box, and this is kind of interesting. I've never seen this before. We've got a penny roll with 2 dimes in it. So I just made some money right here. Take a look at these, guys. 2 dimes in this roll. One here, and you can see from the edge of this is definitely a dime. So instead of 2 cents, I got 20 cents. It's a pretty nice profit right there. Let's keep going. All right, guys, so we've got a good sign right here. We are on roll 8 of this box. We've got a wheat cent right here. And right down there, if you can see this little edge, there's a wheat ear. So let's get into this roll. So our first wheat cent right here, we're gonna take a look at this. Pretty worn on the back, 1942 P right here. That's another new one. We did not have that one yet. Let's go through the rest of these rolls right here and see if we got anything. And I saw this one sticking out as well. This one looks a little beat up on the back right here. got some wheat ears, and then interesting, a 1942S, but this thing has been destroyed. This is gonna have to go in the book for now as a placeholder, but we do have a 42S, and I think we have all of the 42 dates, because I think we got maybe we didn't get a 42P, but I'm pretty sure we have a couple 42s now. So let's keep going through this roll real quick. I didn't see anything else. Doesn't look like it, so we'll keep going. Roll 9, and yet again, guys, we're getting more wheat cents, and we've got one right here, and this one also looks suspicious, so we're gonna look at that one too. So we've got this one right here, a 56D. I'm surprised we haven't gotten this one yet, but we do now have it. Probably, I'm not sure if it's the most common date, but it's a very common one. That's a 56 Denver right there, and no, that is not a wheat cent. So we'll keep going. Roll 11, guys, and we're looking good right now. We're starting off this hunt very hot, let's just say that. I'm pretty sure this coin here is going to be a very old coin, and the reason I say that, and I'm going to bring you in on this, is when you look at this coin, you can just tell it looks a little more worn, a little more beat up, I guess you could say, and the edges look a little more thin. So I'm going to pull this. I think it's going to be an old wheat cent, and it is. We have our first old wheat cent of this album fill. It's going to go in our old book. That is our first one for the old book, and it's a 1927P. It's pretty beat up, but that is going to count for our book, and we are starting this series off great in the first 15 rolls of this first box. We're going to go through the rest of these rolls too and see if I missed anything just from looking near the edges. Let's see. Nope, that's not one. Don't think we have anything else, but what a great find right there. 1927P. We'll keep going. All right, guys, we just cannot stop. Very next roll, roll 12, and we've got our next wheat cent. 1946D. Let's keep going. And guys, it does not stop. It does not stop, guys. Very next roll, roll 13, we've got another wheat cent. 1942P. Guys, very next roll again. There's a wheat cent right there, and later in this roll, I see some things that look fishy. I think there's two wheat cents next to each other. There are 3 wheat cents in this roll. This is getting crazy. Wow, I have not had a wheat cent box start like this in a while. What a great box to start with for our album hunt. Let's take a look at this one first. We got our first one, 1946P. Let's move this roll down a little bit. We've got more wheat cents down here, it looked like. Yeah, that is 2 right next to each other. Well, we know the one in the back here is a 1945P. And we've got another one here. This one could be older. Oh my goodness, guys, 1930P. We're on roll 14 of this box. I'm just gonna show you. We're starting this box, this actual album hunt. We're starting this album hunt extremely well. Let's keep going. We're gonna start off with an awesome base, and we still have another box after this. So let's keep going. The streak continues, guys. The very next roll, 1957 Denver here in roll 15. Roll 17, and we've got another wheat cent in here. I went through the rest of the roll, nothing else, and I saw this reverse facing me. 1956D. Very next roll again, guys, and it just does not end. We just keep getting wheat penny after wheat penny. You can see the back right there. Wow, another 30s wheat cent. That's our second one, 1937P. This has been an incredible box, guys, and I'm not even joking. This is one of my better boxes for wheat cents in a long time, honestly, even prior to this box hunt. Nothing else in the roll, so we'll keep going. Very next roll, guys, and another wheat cent. This one's pretty beat up right here, 1942P. Roll 21, and we've got 2 more wheat cents. We got one right here, another 1937P. Wow, we're gonna have choices for which coins go in this album today. And we've got another wheat cent here. This one's a little bit nicer looking. A 1955D. Awesome. Roll 22. Got our next wheat cent. 1957P. Alright guys, this time has actually been a little bit, but we do have our next wheat cent right here, and it was obverse facing me. We got a 1948 Denver right here. Awesome. We'll keep going. Roll 34, and we've got our next wheat cent. This time we've got a 52 Denver. Awesome. Alright guys, very next roll, roll 35. I think we've got 2 wheat cents in this roll. So I saw this obverse facing me right here. We've got a 1946P right here. Awesome find. And then later in this roll, I think I saw some wheat ears sticking out. Yep, right here. Let's take a look at this one. 1945P. Awesome. Roll 39 of this box, and we've got our next wheat cent. 1941P. Awesome find. Roll 42, and we've got a reverse wheat cent right here. Let's take a look at this one. 1944P. Awesome find. Roll 44, and we've got a 45. Take a look right there. 1945 Denver. Awesome find. Roll 47, and the box still is not done. Got a wheat cent right here. 1955 Denver. The roll before the last one, this almost evaded me right here. It's a pretty crusty looking coin, and we've got a 1942P right there. We'll move on to our ender roll. All right, guys, ending box one, here is our ender roll with that 1952 Denver sticking out at the end. So we'll see if it has any other wheat cents with it. And then after this, we will move into our second box. So let's zoom in a little bit right here. Let's pull that wheat cent off the end right there. We got our 52 Denver right there. Awesome find. Wheat cents even in this last roll right here. Dump out the rest of these and see if we got anything. Doesn't look like it so far. Oh my goodness, and we've got one more. One last one peeking out right there to end off this box. 1946P. Awesome. We'll move into the wrap up of this first box real quick, and then we'll move into the second one. So guys, for our second book, starting off our 50s wheat cents finds, these are the lesser valuable of the wheat cents, comparatively speaking to the older ones. We found two 1952 Denvers, two 1953 Denvers, a 1955 Denver, two 56 Denvers, a 57 Denver, and a 57 Philadelphia. Now, if you don't know, the difference between a Philadelphia and a Denver is underneath the date. You can see right there in the left one, you've got a Denver under that 57, and then on the right one, there's nothing. That indicates it is from Philadelphia if there's no letter, so that essentially is P for plain, or Philadelphia. So we'll move into the 40s wheat cents, which for some reason, there were a lot of 40s wheat cents in this box. So from the 40s, we got a lot of wheat cents. We got a 41P, four 1942Ps, a 42S that was pretty scraped up, a 44P, a 44D, 45D, two 45Ps, 46D, three 46Ps, a 47P, and a 48D. That is a lot of 40s wheat cents for one box right there, and I'll show you what the other finds were for the older wheat cents. And guys, for the oldest coins in this box, we got a 1927 Philadelphia on the left side, a 1930P, and then two 1937Ps. Now, typically I find typically around 1 penny that's older than the 40s per box, or maybe even one every 2 boxes, depending on what it is. This box had 4 of them, which is pretty insane. 3 of them were granted from the 30s, but we did get one from the 20s right there, which is insane. So that's all our finds for the first box. It's going to be a lot to put in the books. We'll put it in after we get our second box done, so let's get started on that. All right, guys, roll 14 of the second box, and we've got our first wheat cent. We've been going through the customer rolled coins, and this is our first one out of the customer rolls right here. We've got a 1953 Denver. Roll 16, very next roll. We don't have something for our book, but we do have a very cool find right here, and it's a King George VI penny from Canada right here. I find these fairly often in penny boxes. I live in Michigan, so we get a lot of Canadian currency. If you've seen in these rolls, they actually go through the machines here. But this 1943 Canadian cent is our first King George VI of the 2-box hunt. So awesome find right there. We'll keep going. Roll 20, and we've got our next wheat cent. We've got a 1953 Denver right here, same exact one as the wheat cent we found last time. See if there's anything else in the roll here. I didn't check. Nothing there. We'll keep going. All right, guys, roll 34 of box 2, and I just opened the first machine roll. There are, I think, 16 rolls that are machine wrapped right here, so you can see, not this coin, but take a look at this, guys. Very nice looking wheat cent. This is going to go in the book right here. A 1956 Denver. Awesome. That's a stunner right there, especially for one of our first wheat cents to add to the book. This is definitely going in the book. looks really nice, so we'll keep going. All right, guys, we're all the way at roll 49 here in the second box. We haven't got anything in a little while, but we did get a wheat cent right here on 1945p. We'll see if we get anything in this last roll, but if not, we'll move into our wrap-up for this box. While the second box's finds weren't that many, we did get some good things here. We only got 4 wheat cents, but we did get a 1943 King George VI penny right here, which is kind of an interesting find. And we did also get this really nice looking 1956 Denver wheat cent. So I'm gonna add all the coins from both boxes to the books, and I will show you the dates that we have and are still missing. And I'm gonna say for our first episode, I think we did really, really well. So I'll see you guys on the flip side. All right, guys, so taking a look at our first book, which goes from 1909 up until 1940s, we got 3 coins for this book on our first day, which I was not expecting. We first got this 1927p at 144.4 million, a 1930p with 157.4 million, and we also found a 1937p, which is the most common of the 3 at 309.2 million. So we found 3 for the old book. We're gonna see what the other book looks like. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of dates in there from what we found in those 2 boxes, so let's take a look. All right, guys, so we're gonna start on the first page on the left and the second page is on the right. Take a look at all those wheat cents we found just today to start off our album. So we got, it looks like 16 wheat cents for this album right here. So we got a 1941p at 887 million, a 1942p at 657 million, a 1942S that's pretty beat up. I'm going to want to replace that one very quickly at 85.6 million. A 1944p, and you can take a look at how many of those were made. 1.4 billion of these coins made compared to the 09S VDB that only has 485,000. We got a 44 Denver here with 430 million, a 45p with 1 billion, 45D 226 million right there, a 46p with 991 million, 46D with 315, a 47p with 190, a 48D with 172 million, and that's it for that first page. We got a lot of 40s wheat cents, and we actually got more 40s than 50s. We got a 52 Denver up in the corner, which is a 746 million, a 53 Denver, a little bit nicer shape, pretty high mintage with 700 million. We got a 55 Denver right here with 563 million. This one's also pretty nice looking. And then this one was definitely the best one of the hunt in terms of the look, but it's a pretty common mintage, actually a very common mintage with 1.1 billion, but an awesome find nonetheless for this book. A 57p and a 57D, which are both very common coins. But I think we're getting started very well in this penny hunt for these albums right here. Really excited to continue these hunts and find a bunch of cool wheat cents for these. I unfortunately can't put that 24S I found last week in here, but I think this is an amazing start, and I'm hoping to find more stuff very soon. I'm going to try and get more boxes and do more of these hunts. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.